She called the police on me for owning my own house keys. An HOA Karen tried to steal my family's mountain cabin using fake rules and fake cops. She thought I would surrender. Instead, I built a lock that exposed everything and destroyed her entire operation. The mountain air always smelled like pine and freedom. That's what my grandfather used to say when he brought me here as a kid. 40 acres of untouched Colorado wilderness, a hand-built log cabin, and a creek so clear you could see trout gliding between stones. No neighbors. No noise. No rules. Just land that had been in our family since 1963. When he passed away, he left the cabin to me. Not a corporation. Not a bank. Me. I kept the keys on a simple steel ring in my pocket. Worn. Scratched. Heavy with memory. Those keys had opened that cabin for 3 generations. I never imagined someone would try to take them from me. Until Karen showed up. I was replacing deck boards one quiet morning when a silver Mercedes SUV crunched up the gravel driveway like it owned the place. Out stepped a woman in spotless hiking boots, designer sunglasses, and a blazer that didn't belong anywhere within 50 miles of a mountain. She didn't introduce herself. She didn't smile. She just said, "You don't belong here. Hand over those keys." I laughed at first. I honestly thought she was joking. "Excuse me?" I said. She raised a clipboard like it was a badge. "I'm Brenda Hartwell, president of the Pine Ridge Homeowners Association. This property is under HOA jurisdiction, and I am here to collect access keys." I looked behind her, half expecting a hidden camera crew. "This is my grandfather's cabin. I own it. You're trespassing." Her smile tightened. "Your paperwork is irrelevant. Our community absorbed this land last year. You are illegally occupying HOA property." That's when I realized she wasn't confused. She was lying. "I'm not giving you anything," I said. "Leave my land." Her smile vanished. "Keep the keys," she said. "I'm calling the police." And she did. 20 minutes later, 2 sheriff's deputies pulled into my driveway while Brenda stood beside her Mercedes with her arms crossed like she'd just caught a criminal. "Sir," one deputy said awkwardly, "we received a report of stolen property." "Stolen keys," Brenda said loudly. "To that cabin." The neighbors from down the mountain had already started gathering. Mountain towns are like that. Nothing happens quietly. I pulled my phone out and opened my files. Deed. Probate. Tax receipts. Property maps going back to the 1960s. The deputies looked at Brenda. "This man owns the cabin." Brenda didn't blink. Then he forged those documents. That's when I understood her strategy. She wasn't trying to win. She was trying to poison my name. In a small town, being accused is almost as bad as being guilty. The deputies left, clearly annoyed at being used. But the damage was done. Neighbors whispered. Phones came out. Rumors started. Brenda leaned in close before she left. "This isn't over," she whispered. "People who resist compliance always regret it." That afternoon, the violations began. First, a letter claiming my solar panels were illegal. Then a notice about my non-compliant cabin exterior. Then a warning about environmental runoff. All fake. All designed to create fines. Fines become liens. Liens become foreclosure. I went to the county records office and nearly fell out of my chair. The Pine Ridge HOA charter had expired 20 years earlier. They had no legal authority over my land at all. But they were still issuing violations. Still collecting fines. Still forcing people to sell. That's when I found out the truth. 6 families on the mountain had already lost their cabins. All after HOA violations. All sold cheaply to a shell company connected to Brenda's boyfriend. They weren't enforcing rules. They were stealing land. And now, she wanted mine. I changed the locks that night. But that was just the beginning. Because Brenda didn't want the door open. She wanted the keys. And next, she was going to try to take them. The morning after I changed the locks, 3 white contractor trucks appeared at the end of my driveway. No logos. No company names. Just men in hard hats taking photos of my cabin like they were measuring it for a coffin. They stayed for 20 minutes. Then left. By noon, I had 3 new HOA violation notices taped to my gate. Unsafe electrical system. Environmental contamination risk. Unauthorized structural modifications. All lies. By evening, my insurance company called to say my policy was under emergency review. That's when I knew Brenda wasn't just harassing me. She was trying to make me uninsurable so the county could condemn the property and seize it. I didn't argue. I built. I installed 8 high-definition cameras, motion sensors, infrared night vision, and cloud backups that streamed everything to 3 different servers. I wired pressure plates under the gravel. Every vehicle, every face, every footstep was logged. And then I installed the lock. Not a normal deadbolt. Not a keypad. A military-grade biometric and rolling code system that changed its encryption every 30 seconds. Fingerprint. Palm vein. Live tissue detection. Custom steel core. Even if someone stole my phone, cloned a key, or hacked the signal, the door would stay shut. 2 nights later, the cameras lit up. 3 figures in hoodies. One of them was Brenda's boyfriend. They tried lockpicks. They tried force. They tried jammers. The door didn't even flinch. Then they did something worse. They placed small plastic bags of white powder near my solar inverter and electrical panel. Planting evidence. I called the FBI while it was happening. 20 minutes later, deputies and federal agents stormed the woods. The crew scattered. The drugs were recovered. The footage was undeniable. The next morning, Brenda held an emergency HOA meeting. She told everyone I was dangerous. Unstable. A threat to the community. That's when my neighbors stood up. Veterans. Widows. Teachers. All victims of the same fake violations. All of them with paperwork. Receipts. Threats. The FBI walked in halfway through her speech. Brenda Hartwell, you're under arrest for fraud, racketeering, conspiracy, and filing false police reports. Her face went gray. But even in handcuffs, she smiled. Because she thought she still had the county on her side. She didn't know they'd already seized the records. She didn't know they'd found the mining contracts. Under my land were rare earth minerals worth over $50 million. That was why she wanted the keys. But my grandfather had protected us. His deed locked the mineral rights forever to our family. They could never take them. Brenda went to prison. The HOA was dissolved. The stolen properties were returned. And the cabin? It's quieter now. The lock still changes codes every 30 seconds. The cameras still watch. And the keys? They stay in my pocket. Right where they belong. Locked.